So absolutely thrilled with that, David?
Delighted for the players, for the effort, the level of professionalism, how strong we looked within the game, and I think fully deserved the 3 points today. Challenged the players before the game to use Tuesday night as the turning point in the season and take the confidence from that, and I think you've seen a side today that was playing with a lot of confidence and belief in themselves, and I think the clean sheet as well really helps with that. So delighted for everybody, and we need to use this, like I say, as the turning point in the season and kick on from here, because that doesn't fix things in terms of where we find ourselves. We know we need to progress and keep improving, but it takes us off the bottom of the table at the moment, and now we chase down the team in front of us.
Is it relief as well, David? Relief? Is that how you felt it?
Probably, but also I think there's also an element of what we have been doing and the internal belief of what we have been doing. I know I've sat and had to answer a lot of the questions quite similar most weeks about me believing in the team, but also today we're not talking about individual errors, we're not talking about decision making within the game or mentality, which shows you at this level how difficult it is to win games of football. But if you do the basics well, if you know, there's no individual errors today, and we keep 11 players on the pitch, we're a real good side, and we demonstrated that today. And credit to everyone for being professional, but also delivering that level of performance.
It must be a huge boost for yourself.
Yeah, it's pleasing. It's pleasing because I've said for a number of weeks now I fully believe in the squad, and I fully believe I can turn this around during the difficult periods, and I always understood exactly why the questions are going to be asked, and still continue to be asked of me because of where we find ourselves. You know, one result doesn't change the season, we know that, but the message to the players was clear before the game, which is we need to start getting points. I've been saying that for a number of weeks, but to use the momentum, and it's amazing the feeling of how momentum shifts with a goal in a positive way for you at the end of the game, because too many times this season we've been on the receiving end of losing late goals, and just the difference in confidence, and you've seen that for the players today, which is great.
You talked about fragility over the last number of weeks. How did it feel to win at half time with a 2-goal cushion?
Obviously it's really positive. I think we limited them to very little as well. One thing I would say is even at 2-0, the game's not done, it's half a job completely. They were always going to have a reaction and have a real go in the second half, of which they done. They put as many attacking players on the pitch as they could, but I thought the players stood up to it well. We done what we needed to do, and then we went and punished them at the other end, because you always leave yourself a little bit exposed. So all in all, I thought it was a real good team performance from that point of view.
Your players looked as if they were actually really enjoying themselves, particularly second half. Like, could you afford to relax a little bit and enjoy the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes?
No, not at all. I think even right towards the very end, you're so engrossed in the game. Obviously, it's a much better feeling after the game. I think, as you've just touched on there about players look like they're enjoying themselves, I think the performance levels have been good at times for individuals and not quite getting what we deserve from the performances we've put in, or individual performances that have been put in. You know, if you go back to when we get silly red cards, for example, or decision making that goes in with that, you don't always, the rest of the players don't deserve that in that moment for maybe how we started. If you think about the Dundee game, for example, how well we started in the game, go 1-0 up, playing really, really well, and then a decision changes the game completely. So, but today, as I've just touched on there, the difference when they're all feeling confident about themselves, the difference on Tuesday night coming into today, and I think they demonstrated that, which was good to see.
David, how do you now harness that confidence going into the next game to make sure this can be a bit of a springboard then?
Well, it doesn't get any easier. You go to Celtic Park next week, so that'll be a real difficult test in itself. But I think just the confidence coming in on Monday morning, you know, after having been down there for so long as we have been, dealing with adversity, dealing with the negativity around it, and underachieving as a squad, because that's something we have done, definitely, because of the quality we've got there, which we demonstrated today. But the biggest message for me today is just to take the confidence from it, use that, build on that, and trust it. Trust what we're doing, keep doing, working as hard. It's not fixed it, as I've just said there. We need to continue to improve in the areas we can. And we've got a game to look forward to at Celtic Park, which will be a real tough test, but one the players know what to expect now. They've been there already this season, and it's certainly not going to be an easy game, that's for sure.
Nico gets his goal today. Tell us about what he brings to the team.
Energy. He's always up for a fight with the centre-backs. He's always occupying centre-backs. I don't think anyone feels they have an easy game playing against him. There's still a lot he needs to improve on, he knows that, and he's the type that wants to improve, which is great. You know, obviously I've worked with him previously before bringing him back to the club, and there's still areas we are working at. He wants to add more goals to his game. I think he's still a threat in the box, especially even at set pieces. He's got his head on a few things, but I think if you ask him, he'll still want his goal tally to keep improving because of the amount of minutes he's getting, chances he's maybe getting in games as well. but he's a real good type. He works really hard. He's desperate to get to the highest level he possibly can, and I think that as a coach, that's what you want in your dressing room. You want players that are hungry to succeed and try and progress, because he's still a young boy as well, which is great.
Enjoy your Saturday night for the first time in a couple of months.
I will actually, I think I might even have a glass of wine. There you go.